Pete Hegseth has a problem, a pizza problem. See, a lot of people out there think that by tracking pizza deliveries to the Pentagon, you can potentially forecast or predict when major military actions are going to happen. I don't know how much of a science that actually is, but Pete Hegseth, amidst all of the other non-work that he has to do, decides to have a little bit of fun with that. We're gonna get to his quote in just a second, but you can take a look at this account. You can follow it if you want. The Pentagon Pizza Report says the closest Papa John's and second closest Domino's to the Pentagon are reporting high traffic. Freddy's Beach Bar, I'm not familiar with that one, is reporting below average traffic for Saturday night. And so they're just like constantly reporting, because the idea being, if you've got a lot of pizzas being delivered to the Pentagon, then people are working overtime and maybe, I don't know, we're about to bomb Venezuela or something. Thankfully, so far that hasn't happened, but this could be one indicator. Pete Hegseth was asked about that recently. Take a look.
There's an account on X that forecasts or tries to forecast military action based on how busy the pizza places are around the Pentagon. Next time there's going to be an airstrike, have you guys thought about maybe just going to the cafeteria?
I'm aware of that account. I haven't thought of just going to the cafeteria. I've thought of just ordering lots of pizza on random nights, just to throw everybody off. Some Friday night when you see a bunch of Domino's orders, it might just be me on an app throwing the whole system off so we keep everybody off balance. Trust me, we look at every indicator. There's a reason Midnight Hammer worked, because we understood open source, we understood classified ways in which the public and others are trying to watch movements, and in sensitive ways we controlled for a lot of that in ways that only the US government can do it.
I love that, like, his first instinct is like, well, what if I troll some random Twitter person by spending a bunch of taxpayer dollars? I believe that's actually how you think. What's funny to me though is once he's like, oh, I was just joking there, but no, like, we understand like classified stuff. Come on, dude. Come on, the drunk doth protest too much. We know who you are. You're the Signal Gate guy. You guys know less than basically anyone else in the government about how to keep things classified. And I think it's funny that now it's like, maybe pizza will tell us when there'll be like a big mission. When, like, I don't know, maybe Ken Klippenstein will be invited to a Discord server that they're discussing this stuff. The idea that they in particular are great with operational security seems ridiculous. And as one extra example of that, I just want to let people in our government know, like, you can like cover your screen when you're texting. I feel like constantly there's these scandals now of people like on a plane just like holding their phone up with like private notes and things on speeches and everything. In this particular case, we have an aide to Stephen Miller, apparently reportedly caught texting about military deployments while in a crowded public space. And there they were talking about the possible deployment of the Army's 82nd Airborne. So they were talking about sending this elite part of the Army into Portland. The idea being that if you do that, it's pretending that it's needed. Remember, they want to pretend that Portland is a war zone or whatever, because they know the vast majority of Fox News viewers they're not there. They don't know what it's like. So they're talking about that back and forth. And one of the text messages from this guy, Weaver, says, between you and I think Pete just wants the top cover from the boss if anything goes sideways with the troops there. And that, of course, to get back to you, JR, is the scary thing, because look, they're doing their identity politics and even just invading the cities. That's just a classic fascist thing of just constantly be scared of your countrymen at all times, pretend there's terrorists everywhere. You can use that as the cover to grab power. But we also know that, the more times that they dispatch these troops, the more days they spend with ICE rampaging and all the videos that we see every single day, the chance of something going sideways, which is a fun little euphemism, it goes up every single day. What do you think?
So again, we see this. There's been so many exposures to this guy and this entire administration. The amateur nature of how they do everything. Like, we bring up Signalgate and go like, oh, Signalgate, remember that guy? And then another time when it happened, and then it's kind of gone in the wind. Like that wasn't important, and that it's not an indication of how loosey-goosey they are with the things that they do. Again, like you said, you just have your phone up in the huge font. Usually you can sit behind your grandfather who's getting to use his phone a little bit more. I guess in my case, my father, but making the font huge and then seeing him scroll through as many Facebook posts as possible. And we're like, man, grandpa, put the phone down. Like, for your sake, I want you to like hide. These guys aren't in that, like I thought, weren't in that realm of people who need to be told, don't show everybody what's on your phone. We saw Scott Bessent having this conversation back and forth with the ag secretary about how they're screwed on soybeans and how China's got us. Oh man, and Venezuela screwed us up too. Argentina got us too. It's crazy that they keep doing this. There's no need for spies anymore. Imagine some kind of, they always talk about America's enemies. Imagine if anybody actually wanted to inflict some pain on this country, have any kind of attack. There's no need for spies anymore, no need for technological takeovers or somehow getting within the system. They just kind of just hang around and be like, they'll tell us sooner or later. At some point, Peter Hegseth just said, I'm gonna order pizzas one night. What a dummy.
Yeah,
they're being run by such idiots that it's dangerous. Ironically, the way that they've always talked about how our national security is at risk because people in power don't know what they're doing. It is that times 100 right now. And we should see these things and keep them in our brains and not forget when or if these types of things happen, we know whose fault it is and why.
Exactly. Yeah, and just think about when it happens, because it feels inevitable that it's gonna happen. What are they all gonna say? What's the Fox News cover story? Again, I don't think it's that difficult to figure out what the monologues are gonna be, that it was necessary. It was actually awesome. Look, we had these terrorists, like regular protesters with signs, no weapons or whatever. They get gunned down by the US military and like, finally, we have military that's standing up to these terrorists or whatever. And you're gonna know people in your life that love that message because we live in that country where there's plenty of people that wanna see that. They fully believe, like we know that it's absolutely ridiculous. We see the poll, everybody says, my place doesn't have crime, but elsewhere, oh no, it's ridden with crime. We know they've bought the propaganda, they bought all that crap. And so when it finally comes to that, I think a natural conclusion, basically like a scene straight out of The Handmaid's Tale, it's gonna be a lot of people that are eating that stuff up.
If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.